Hey, I'm Aja A, and welcome to Sunshine Haze. Don't forget to check out all the links that I have listed down in the description box, and if you like the video, please give me a little thumbs up. If you have any questions after the video is over, feel free to drop them down below. I try to respond to everyone. And if you all know people interested in astrology, numerology, tarot, or whatever I'm talking about on this channel, go on and send them this link. And don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, thanks for tuning in and rocking with me. May this info help y'all live your best lives. Peace. Hey, you guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Aja A, for those of y'all that don't know me or haven't seen any of my videos. This is going to be a video on the new moon in Cancer. Shout out to my Cancers, and also the solar eclipse that we have in this sign as well. Before I get started, I know it's been kind of quiet and inconsistent on my channel. It's not like how it usually is. I have been working a real adult job, and it has been taking all of my time, consuming my whole life, but I just had a birthday, so it's my new year. I'm all for getting back into what it is that is really important to me. So finding the balance here. I am going to have all of the videos that you guys usually expect coming up during the times that they need to. So stay tuned on my channel. Excuse me, sorry. Check out whatever I got down in the description box because it will tell you about the videos that I have coming out, okay? All right, let's just get started. This is a new moon. For those of you guys that don't know what that means, the new moon is the point in the lunar cycle where the moon appears in the sky as if it is not there. And that's because there's no light reflecting off of it from the sun towards us. So it's associated with like new beginnings, fresh energy, rejuvenation, new cycles. On the shadow side, dealing a little bit with anxiety because of the mystery associated with the new moon. This is also, we're now officially in eclipse season, so we're starting off the summer with the Cancer solar eclipse, and eclipses come with the energy of change and transformation. So this eclipse series has to do with change and transformation as far as the Cancer and Capricorn axis, which deals a lot with, you know, foundation and family and, you know, comfortability and how we nurture ourselves and nurture our foundations, okay? Oh yeah, so the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer. So the moon governs emotions, intuition, family, and feelings. Emotions and feelings, same thing. So this lunar cycle is gonna have a lot to do with that. You guys make fun of Cancers a lot and talk about how we're so sensitive, how all we do is cry, and you guys will be feeling the energy that Cancers carry around. Cancer is, you know, Cancer, it's not a negative sign, but Cancer is water. Cancer does deal a lot with family and nurturing and, you know, empathy in regards to others. So the Cancer energy can be a little heavy sometimes. So during this next month, a lot of you will be feeling what we typically carry around in our hearts and our souls on the regular, day-to-day. And instead of making fun of us, y'all will be crying all the time and be hella emotional. You see how we feel and what we go through 24/7. Okay, so the new moon, I wanted to get this up yesterday, but I didn't. But we had our new moon yesterday on Tuesday, July 2nd at 3:17 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So wherever you are, figure that out. That's when the moon happened for you. And it happened in 10 degrees, which I'll talk about the numerology a little bit later. I spoke a little bit about Cancer, but just some basics on Cancer. Cancer is the crab. It's the crab constellation. Cancer is associated with comfortability in the home. Cancer is associated with home. I said emotions, feelings, nurturing, love, helping others. Cancer is considered the mother of the zodiac, so Cancer also carries this energy of kind of overseeing things and helping people and ourselves get our shit and their shit together. So it's Cancer comes with that mama energy, that mothering energy, and sometimes it could be a little smothering. I know, trust me, I've heard. So we'll be dealing with a few different energies during this next month. The first one that I have down here is that with the moon being, with the moon being at home in the sign of Cancer and the moon being associated with the water element, Cancer being a water sign. I need water. As I'm talking about water. Cancer being a water sign, although this is not a full moon, the moon is at home, it's in its element. This is definitely a time for cleansing. It's like a fresh, clean, new slate because the moon has made its whole cycle, right? and it's now starting anew, and it is time to start fresh. So whatever is still hanging on, whatever's still lingering, it needs to be washed away with these waves, right? So in our lives, what we may be feeling is during this next month, if you're feeling kind of off, or if anything makes you feel out of whack, that's happening so that you can see, okay, these are things that I need to bring into balance. These are things that I need to align so that I feel good, so that I feel content. What needs to be released? What needs to be cleansed away? Where do I need to start new? Where do I need to start fresh? I also was talking about Cancer being the mother of the zodiac, and with it being the mama, I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of us are dealing with our moms in some sort of sense, either getting closer with your mothers, either learning something about, you know, your moms, or about the way they came up, or the way you came up. You may also be having some clashes with your mothers during this next month in regards to what's wrong with your relationship. What do you need to see? What do you need to accept? I do want to talk about that a little bit. With this being a family sign, I think it's important for us to understand that we do pick our family. Our little souls pick our soul groups before we come here into this life, I believe. But we don't get to pick our families, so to speak, right? With that being said, there may be some things that you're learning, or some things that you're finding out, or some things that you are going to have to accept about the way that your mom is, or about the way that you parent. And you're going to have to learn how to work with that, and how to still love mama, or love your kids, or have your kids love you unconditionally. That is the most important thing with this mother aspect of this sign, is giving the love, even if we feel like it's not deserved, even if we feel like it's not something that needs to be given, or if we feel like, no, I'm not rocking with them right now. It's important to remember that these energies and this stuff coming up with your moms or with your parenting are happening right now during this time, because there are certain things that need to be fixed, or certain things that need to be shifted or worked through, or certain aspects of your relationship that need to be, like I said, with the new moon, they need to be rejuvenated. Excuse me, y'all. I cannot believe I left my water. I don't want to get up. I just want to give y'all the information in the video. My water is right there, but I'm gonna make it through this video. I think I can do it. Okay, sorry. I was trying, but my low water self needed some water. Okay, so also talking about Cancer being the sign associated with the home, I think that, especially with this being the Capricorn Cancer eclipse axis, I think it's going to be coming up for us during this time. We're going to be looking at our foundations and looking at, okay, not necessarily, and kind of moving into the physical, but kind of more so looking at, what do I have going on around me? What do I call home? When I go home, what am I comfortable with? What am I not comfortable with? What do I need to change in my home? What do I need to change in my space, right? And then also, if you are trying to build a more solid foundation, looking at, okay, what do I need in order for me to be able to do the things that I do to nurture this home, or this dwelling space that I have in my mind, that I have in my vision, into being in the physical. So a lot of things popping up with how you are working with your foundations. For example, you know, if you're trying to move during this next month, you might be looking at what you're doing with your money, even though that's not really what Cancer is associated with. But because you see this vision of this new apartment or this new home, going to be looking at, okay, this is what I want. This is how I want it to look. This is how I want it to feel. What do I need to do on this end? Do I need to work more? Do I need to, you know, start going to more places to see more spaces? Do I need to do this? Do I need to do that? X, Y, Z. Our foundations will be coming up to the forefront during this next month in regards to how we feel at home. So also, if you're having like arguments within the family members in your home, or with your roommates or something, you're going to be looking at, okay, what is going on here? Why am I feeling like this? And what needs to be changed? What needs to be shifted in order for me to be content in my home, be content in my dwelling space. Also, Cancer is associated with intuition. So I associate Cancer with psychism too. Also Pisces, Scorpio too, but not as much as Cancer and Pisces. So with this next month coming up, especially with the moon being at home in its sign and starting anew and having this refreshed, rejuvenated energy, our intuition is going to be heightened during this time, along with our emotions. So the things that you're feeling, especially if you're feeling moved to do something, I would say pay very close attention. Pay attention to the synchronicities. Pay attention to, you know, your clair gifts, your clairaudience, your clairvoyance, clairsentience, whatever. just pay attention and listen to your guts during this next month. If something doesn't feel right, don't do it. If somebody's telling you to do something and you're really very resistant to it, do not do it, because your soul, your spirit is telling you no for a reason. Or if you're feeling urged to walk down a certain path, or urged to make a phone call, your soul, your spirit is pushing you down that path for a reason. Pay attention to your intuition, listen to yourself, listen to your heart, mind, and soul during this next month, because it's going to be very heightened because of the Cancer energy. And it's not that you guys, we don't get these intuitive messages throughout the year, but when the moon is at home in the sign of Cancer, it's like the veil. I talk about the veil being thin. It's kind of like there is no veil right now. All the messages and downloads you're receiving are going to be, they will be coming in for you, but because it's water, they might not be crystal clear, unless you really have a lot of water in your chart, or a lot of Cancer in your chart, or a lot of intuitive aspects in your chart. You might be able to interpret them a little bit better, but there's going to be a lot of stuff coming in for us, a lot of things coming in, because especially because this is one of the signs on the eclipse axis, so it has a lot to do with change and shifting our energy. So just pay very close attention to the way that you're feeling and go with your feelings during this next month. It's going to be very important for you to do so, okay? Cancer is also cardinal, which means it starts off the seasons, and this is the cardinal summer sign. So I associate summer with fire energy, like making things happen, actually doing things, making moves. So the energy that we're feeling, especially with this new, again, rejuvenated energy, it's kind of like we have this new motivation to really get the things that we want to get done, and really make the moves that we need to make in order for that to happen. So we're all going to be feeling, I don't want to say, and some of us might be feeling a little antsy because it is a new moon, new lunar cycle, at least during the shadow period. But we're going to be feeling this drive to get back to what we're passionate about, get back to doing what makes us happy, get back to, making our home the space that we want it to be. And with this being cardinal, it's like, since we're feeling that, we're going to start doing what we need to do, doing what it takes by any means necessary to get to those points, okay? Oh, my mouth is so dry. I do. Anyway. Again, this is a water moon, so a lot of y'all finna be lost in the sauce, but what I have been telling my friends that keep telling me about how much this Cancer energy is affecting them is, it's water, it's intense, it can wash you away, it also cleanses. This is an important time of the year, with this being the eclipses. It's important. It is very important for y'all not to get lost at sea. Do not get lost in the sauce. Don't become submerged under the water. Don't get lost all up in your emotions and be all over the place. And I know it's easier said than done, but try to ride that wave as opposed to, being washed away by it. Also with water is the sign of going with the flow. So whatever is happening during this next month, let it happen. Don't be resistant to change. The water comes in, again, to wash away, cleanse things, and then to also carry you into smoothly what's next. So don't be resistant to whatever is coming in for you. If some things are shifting, it's because they're supposed to be. Again, eclipses have to do with change and transformation. Also, very briefly, talking about Cancer on the shadow side, I guess we could be emotional, we can be very moody, and we can be very, very sensitive. And then we also have pinchers and tend to get stuck in our waves. We're homebodies, we can go into our shells, and when we really don't need to be. So during this next month, especially with all this change coming in, a lot of us may, and especially with the water energy, the density of that water, we may be feeling like, I don't really want to do that because I'm not comfortable doing that. Or we maybe just be feeling really moved by everything and just kind of sad, kind of heavy. Understand that you're feeling the heaviness so that you can understand that it's time for you to lift it, to wash it away, okay? Now, speaking a little bit about the eclipse, it was visible in South America. We couldn't see it here in the States, but whatever. I don't know when I'm going to be able to see an eclipse. The year before that, I tried so hard, and all I did was sleep through them. It was the craziest thing ever. I would be prepared to have my stones, my journal, be ready to go outside. One time I couldn't get the glasses, but I would try so hard, and the next thing you know, I'm waking up, and I'm like, oh, I went to sleep? So this energy is very intense, if that tells y'all anything, but it's kind of different for me during this time, and I think it's because it's on my axis, which is also even more interesting because I am a rising Capricorn. So this is really like my eclipse like season, like for real, for real. But if it's not your sign, I'm assuming you might be affected like how I was when it wasn't in my sign. So you might be sleeping or feel very tired or very drowsy, or like you're dragging along. But actually, if you guys, I'm curious, I'm interested in knowing, feel free to comment. Let me know how your energy is affected by the eclipses during the shadow period or during the day of. Okay, so going into that, this was a solar eclipse, which solar eclipses, as I was talking about change and transformation, they shine light on what is phasing in for us. Excuse me. So with this being Cancer, this solar eclipse, what's coming in for us during this time are changes in our family, changes in our foundation, changes in the way that we feel and the way that we process our feelings. Also changes in our maternal relationships, these little badass kids in this basketball. I'm not gonna be trash and yell out the window and tell him to stop bouncing the damn ball, but like, where are your parents? Why are you just outside in the middle of the day? It's a weekday. Like, oh, I guess it's summertime. Whatever. Still, where are your parents? Anyways, as I was saying, changes coming in relationships with your moms for the most part of the way that you parent your children if you are a mother. And then also changes coming in for your intuition. So I feel like you'll be getting realigned as far as receiving your intuitive messages. Very quickly, we did have one, and I don't remember if it was Cancer or Capricorn. I think it was Cancer. One eclipse last year back in 2018. If you watch that video, I did speak briefly about, okay, this is just kind of a glimpse into what's going to be popping off for you coming up starting around next summer when we really get this eclipse series going. So if you think back to that time and the things that were kind of being shown to you, it's so funny because I remember I was sitting on a bench. There's a particular thought in my head and I'm getting really excited about it because I'm like, oh, I feel this stuff starting to phase in anyways. So woo, I'm excited. Anyways, think back to last summer, towards the end of the summer, what you were doing, what you were feeling, what you were thinking, what you felt like was shifting for you, and understand that that's going to be very prominent for you coming up during this summer towards the end of the year. The eclipse effects linger on our energy for about 6 months, but it's very intense. We really see what's popping off around the actual eclipses. So think about what was happening last summer and think about what's popping off for you starting around this time and see how those things are coming together and how they're starting to unfold for you. So I'm excited because I can vividly remember having these thoughts. And I'm like, you guys, life is gonna be really popping. But yeah, so a lot of change, a lot of transformation coming in for us, a lot of new things being shown to us, light being shed upon the things that we need to shift, especially in conjunction with this moon being in Cancer as well, light being shed upon what needs to be healed, what needs to be released so that we can start fresh and start anew and really be in alignment with how we're feeling and what we feel about the environment around us, the environment that we're creating around us, okay? All right, let's talk a little bit about the numerology. This moon was in the sign of 10 degrees. I would say only $10. If you are ever in DC and you go to Busboys and Poets and somebody is selling their CD, it's always $10 and it's only $10. Okay, fun fact. One is associated with new beginnings, new cycles, manifestation, and independence. 0 is also associated with cycles, but it also amplifies the energy amplifies the energy of the number that it's with. So this solar eclipse is really bringing in, and this new moon is really bringing in a fresh new start for the way that we feel in our spaces. It's also bringing in a fresh new start for the way that we deal with our moms or the way that we parent. It's bringing in a fresh new start for the way that we pay attention to the messages that we receive and how we trust ourselves. And it also, is bringing in just a major shift for Cancer. I associate Cancer with love as well, although it's not ruled by Venus. It's bringing in the way that talking about nurturing, the way that we nurture ourselves and nurture our friends and our families and our spaces. So a lot of new things coming in, and it's very prominent for us right now. So what I talk about the moons and everything all the time and how the energies affect us in the physical, but during this time, what's really important to be paying attention to during the summer is your foundation, the way that you feel in your foundation, and also your familiar relationships, your maternal relationships, and your intuition, okay? This moon happened on a 3-day. Hold on, 3, 5, so yeah, happened on a 3-day, which is also not, I don't believe in coincidence. I think it is completely aligned that we are in a 3 universal year and we're getting our first Cancer eclipse of this year, the first Cancer eclipse. It wasn't the first eclipse, I think we had the last of the Leo Aquarius at the beginning of the year. We're getting it on a 3-day, and we're in a 3 universal year, which is all about, you know, community, creativity, and communication. So all of these things that we're passionate about, all of these things that we need to see play out in our lives, we're learning how to speak on these things. We're learning how to get what we want by speaking up about it. We're learning how to really bring everything together, and we're learning how to be a little bit innovative, get creative in the way that we make our foundations unfold and the way that we build upon things. So this being a 3-day, whatever is coming in with this eclipse for you, it has everything to do with bringing you into alignment with your highest good, if that makes sense, okay? All right, so that's all the game I want to kick to you about the new moon in Cancer and the solar eclipse. I literally just talked about all the change happening. Just keep in mind that the moon is at home in this sign, and the moon does govern our emotions, so they will be very heightened during this time. So just be mindful. Understand that a lot of your reactions to things that are said to you or things that go on, if you feel just completely crazy, it's because of the water. You are being influenced by this heavy Cancer water energy. You are okay. I'm okay. The rest of us Cancers are okay. Y'all will be okay with it for just the 1 month, okay? This is a cleansing agent as well. So although it's not a full moon, you guys, we are, like I said earlier, we're looking at we're seeing the fresh new starts that we want to be in. And so we're also understanding what needs to be released in order for us to get to those points, okay? The people that will be mostly affected by this moon, by this eclipse, are people with their personal planets in Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, in Cancer in 10 degrees or 6 or 7 degrees either side of that. Also people with their personal planets in 10 degrees, 6 or 7 degrees either side of that. If you've got Cancer or water heavy charts, this is definitely an eclipse and a lunar cycle that is going to really bring in some shifts for you. Also, if you have a cardinal heavy chart as well, you will definitely see a lot of changes and transformation popping up for you during this time too. If you do new moon intentions, this is a good time to write about how you want to see things play out with your maternal relationships, or the way that you parent, the way that you receive your intuitive messages, or the way that you interpret them. Also, the way that you process your emotions and the way that you react emotionally. And then also your foundations and being content within your dwelling space. All right, you guys, what else? Is there anything else I want to tell y'all about this new moon in Cancer? No, shameless plug. I talked about the videos that y'all need to watch. Check out the description box below. However, since I am back on track, I am offering eclipse readings. Eclipse readings, they are for sale. You can book them through my Etsy shop. I have that link down below. We'll be looking at, it covers the Capricorn and the Cancer energy, so it is for this eclipse axis. So if you're interested in getting an eclipse reading and seeing what kind of change and transformation is coming in for you and what you're phasing away from, and what type of energy you'll be dealing with during this eclipse series. I can't talk. I always get tongue twisted. I wonder if there will ever be a day, one of these videos. But if you're interested in, getting some insight there, feel free to book a reading with me. If you have any questions and you're like, I need to know more before you book, you can also send me an email. I do respond. I actually respond better in my email than I respond on my phone. Whatever. But yes, you guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope that this information provided you with a little bit of insight and can help you kind of, like I said, ride the wave as opposed to becoming submerged during this next month. And I will see y'all next time. Peace. Oh, check out your Cancer lunar cycle tarot forecast. I will have those going up over the next few days. Okay, for real, for real. I will see y'all next time.